Okay, looks like we're live. We're all set. Recording? Okay, do some editing. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Nick Carnevale from the Meadowlands Technology Committee, and I am going to discuss some new technologies, which I'm sure is the latest buzzword in tech, which are AR and VR. And I wrote here augmented reality, which is AR versus virtual reality. They don't really run against each other. It's not like it's VHS versus beta, back in the VCR days. They're kind of complementary technologies that work slightly differently, but they're both in the market now and both becoming very, very popular. So we're going to go through what each are, examples of each, and then the cool part is how you can actually experience these things today, which is really exciting. I'm the Microsoft Business Sales Specialist from the Willowbrook Mall in Wayne, New Jersey. There's my email address. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any other questions or concerns about the topics here, because there is a lot of technology involved, and I tried to really get down to examples and what it means to business people, to gamers, to really everyone, what these two new technologies could mean for you. Not really how they work and the nuts and bolts of how they work, because there's a lot of tech involved, but I talk more about usage cases and examples. So we'll get started with that. So first and foremost is probably the one you've heard about the most, which is virtual reality, also known as VR. That's probably the more common buzzword, the more known piece of this that I'm going to talk about. Now, what virtual reality does, it creates basically an artificial world where you can, as the user, can interact with that. So in most cases, it covers the goggles or the headset that you're using, covers your face, and it puts a screen really right in front of you. But in addition to that screen, it has sensors within the device where you can move around and turn your head, and even there's attachments to your hands where you move your hands up and down, and that you're in that virtual world. It's like you're embedded within a new place. Whether you want to be in the middle of Times Square, you want to be climbing a mountain, you want to be fighting zombies in a game, you're within that game. It's not yourself looking at a screen like a TV. You're directly embedded with that. So I think the big difference that virtual reality does versus AR, and the key component to it is that it replaces the world we are in. It doesn't add to it. It's a new world. It's a virtual world. The hardware and the software actually fools our senses to thinking that we're actually there in this place, like I said, whether it be the middle of Times Square or climbing a mountain or fighting zombies in a game. So the key component to that is that your field of vision is completely covered by that. So the devices that you'll see on this next slide show you what that looks like. And the uses really are the uses are kind of similar for both, but gaming is a really key thing for VR. A lot of the gaming companies are really jumping on this, whether it be PlayStation or Xbox or PC gaming. Storytelling, because you're actually in that new world. It's great for storytelling. And then, of course, for training for companies, and also for education. This will be used in schools in the near future. I've actually sold a few virtual reality headsets to a couple local schools. But let's take a look at how this would look in reality. Okay, so here's some examples of it. HTC has a product called the HTC Vive. Samsung has one called the VR. You've probably seen commercials for that. That's one of the most accessible solutions, because you just can take your Samsung phone, put it into this headset, and then you have the screen right in front of you, and it takes the phone hardware and uses a headset. So that's a simple way to do it. Oculus Rift. Oculus is going to be a platform. Rift is their actual hardware name. That's another device. And then PlayStation has this with their PlayStation VR piece. So here's some pictures of it. So on the left, you'll see how the HTC Vive looks, what the Oculus Rift looks like, and then your Samsung Gear VR, where you attach the phone. And then lastly, there's the PlayStation VR. Now, the thing you need to see on all of these is that they actually cover your field of vision. They are a device that gives you a new reality that has a screen right in front of your face. It doesn't combine what you're looking at. It creates a new world for you. So we've done these demos and things like that. If you ever do a demo, you have to be careful that you're in a room where you're not going to hit people and move around, because you can't see what's around you. You can move your arms and everything, and you can move your head, but you are embedded in this world with a screen very close to your face. And then I'll show you right here what it looks like, what actually some screen captures of how virtual reality looks. The first one is I think it's a game where you have to get out of a room. It's like kind of a puzzle game. So the hands, some of these devices have attachments that work with your hands. So you hold two controllers and you move your hands up and down and turn your head, and you can escape this room. Work with the puzzles, climb the stairs, manipulate objects in the virtual world that's right in front of your face. The next one is probably something everybody's familiar with, which is Minecraft. So the little inset here, it'll show you how a person can use Minecraft and then walk around the Minecraft world. We actually have these demos at the Microsoft Store with Minecraft, and with the new version of Minecraft that's coming out, where it works with these virtual reality devices, where you're no longer using a controller in your hands. You are turning your head and looking at the world you've built, and then you have a controller to use the different tools within the game. But the key component is that wherever you're turning your head, wherever you're telling your person to walk, that world is in front of you, like a complete scenery or skyscape, as you can see here. So that's what VR looks like. The next thing I want to discuss is augmented reality. So a lot of people aren't familiar with that. What that means, sometimes it's grouped as the same thing as VR, but they are really fundamentally different. What augmented reality does, it takes your virtual world and then the real world, which you can see around you at all times, and combines them. So I really like it because it uses holograms and a different type of technology to take everything that's around you and add to it. So the 3D holograms can be very, very complex, very ornate. I've seen a demo where a company, Microsoft did a mock-up of how you can shop at a mall, or you can look at a watch where the watch actually comes apart, and you could turn it around and look at different pieces and how it's created. So and that's not covering your field of vision, that's adding to what you're looking for. Architects often use this, where or furniture companies, where they'll show you a room, and then the room you can just add different pieces of furniture within the room to see what it looks like, instead of looking at a screen and seeing it. It's actually within that room, within that third dimension. So so that's the key component to how AR works. The hardware usually is a clear eyepiece, because you have to see the world around you. It's not replacing the world around you, it's adding to it. They cover your field of vision, but they're more like glasses versus a new device that completely gets rid of your field of vision. It adds to it. The cool thing about AR is that it can add to productivity. So in the workplace, I think there's some better usage cases for that, and I'll show you in the next slide with pictures. But productivity, gaming also, you can do mobile gaming with it, which there's a really excellent example of that I'm sure most people are familiar with, how gaming is using AR. Education, obviously, the medical field, there's uses right now today where doctors are using this to practice surgeries, where they have a person in a virtual or an augmented reality world where they can see different arteries and examine the heart and do things like that, where you couldn't do it before. You'd actually have to have a real person to work on. You can do this in the AR world because of the way it just adds to what you're looking at. And then product demos, like I mentioned before. There's furniture companies who are going to use this. There's architects, realtors can do this give you virtual tours of homes where you don't have to look at your computer screen and click around. You just put these glasses on, turn your head, and you can get a tour of an apartment or a home right away, and at whatever pace you're looking for. Not driven by the software, it's driven by you. So that's a really cool thing. I'll show you examples of what the devices or the hardware looks like on the next slide. You can get to it. So examples of it are, I mentioned Microsoft HoloLens. That's one of the most advanced versions. That's a development kit right now. I work for Microsoft, so we do have developers who are working on this right now, but we do have development kits that are available for anyone to acquire. Google Glass is probably one of the earliest examples of this. It's been around, I think, for like 4 or 5 years now, Google Glass, and that was one of the first things of AR brought to the market. And then, of course, everyone knows Pokemon Go. That's an example of augmented reality within a game and within a mobile platform. So if you see how that looks, Google Glass is to the left, and that just looks like a pair of glasses with this little tiny screen that goes over and adds to the world you're in. So when you're using Google Glass, you can be walking down the street and I guess want information on restaurants or Yelp or whatever app would work, and you just turn your head and you look around and it tells you how that restaurant is rated without even, looking at your phone and asking for it. It'll pop information up about the things you're looking at, the objects you're looking at. So that's how Google Glass works. And like I said, HoloLens is kind of the most advanced version of that, where it can do full product demos, very high resolution images and 3D rendering added to the world you're in. And then I think the example that everyone knows, last but not least, Pokemon Go. If you're searching for Pokemon, you can have the AR button clicked on, the toggle switch, where the Pokemon will show up within the world you're looking at. So you hold up your phone, you look at the lens, and a Pikachu could be standing in your driveway, and it just, through the phone it looks like they're really there when obviously they're not. So it adds to the world, it augments what you're looking at. And here's how it looks. So the first slide will show your I think that's a Rattata or whatever. That one is on a table, and that's the augmented button is on the top right. It's turned on, so you can see the augmented reality and find these objects within your real world. There's other things where they have virtual greeting cards where you could send someone a card, and then they can project it and look through their phone, where the greeting card pops up like in a 3D image on their kitchen table, or there's a birthday cake that shows up on a virtual greeting card. That's another example. Um, and the next one shows you how HoloLens works. Now, HoloLens takes a bunch of these different things that Google Glass and a game like Pokemon will have to have multiple screens. It basically takes your Windows 10 experience, projects it on a wall. You can just tap things and click things there. You don't have to use a mouse anymore, and then you could have a screen with showing video. If this person's watching a soccer game, looking at some shopping things, looking at a three-dimensional model maybe for work, and then looking at weather in Maui. All these things can come up using that HoloLens glass in right in front of your face in a virtual world, but you're still not losing what you're looking at. He's still in his kitchen. That's not a render. That's actually a physical kitchen, and all these different objects pop up and populate that. So it's part of your world. And then Google Glass is very similar, but Google Glass will show you how that works right in front of your face, and with screens and then with information. It doesn't have as many applications involved as like a HoloLens would, but it takes data and then puts it right at your eyeballs, right in front of you, and you can either toggle it on or off, or how much data you want to get with Google Glass. So those are three examples of how augmented reality works. And certainly, last but not least, these things are really cool because they're experiences. It's not, I can go through slides and show you a million pictures of it, but really you don't see what it looks like until you actually throw on a VR headset or throw on an AR headset and experience it. So Microsoft, in all our 120 stores, we have, not all the stores, but most of the stores, especially the one I work at in Willowbrook, has free experiences where you can try this out. We have the devices that you can purchase, but the coolest part is you can do a demo and check out the device. We have a roped off area because like you said, if you're swinging your arms and you're moving your head around, we don't want you to walk into anybody, and it draws a pretty good crowd. We've done Oculus Rift demos, we've done Vive demos with Minecraft, and at our flagship store in New York, I did the HoloLens demo. So I've tried a bunch of these different ones, and I definitely would say to everyone who's interested in this, go and experience it. Like I said, it's free. You just need to sign up and check it out. But seeing is believing with this. It's a new technology that can be used in a variety of ways, whether it's business, education, or gaming. I'm not much of a PC gamer, so I don't know if I'll use it for gaming, but on the education side and from a business sense, I think that VR and AR are really important and going to be the next big thing, as everybody's looking for what's the new thing in technology. And along those lines is Microsoft's launching a new update to Windows 10 called the Creators Update in April, I believe. That's going to have a key component with a third dimension. So this is all 3D. This is all that extra level of experience. That's going to be part of the new Windows 10 Creators Update. So I would definitely say look for that. In the meantime, try out these devices wherever you can. If you see any place doing a demo, I would suggest checking it out and experiencing AR and VR. And if you have any questions, my email is listed there. Feel free to reach out, and I can hopefully answer most of your questions on this. But thanks for watching. Reach out if you need anything. stop.